Well, good evening, everybody. I'm so excited to be reconnecting with you guys. Our trip to London was just incredible. I mean, the amount of energy I mean, there's a lot of raw, untapped talent going on in the UK, and it was such an honor and a privilege to meet everybody and to work with everybody. I know it was a very long weekend training wise. I mean, to have our a full day of web center training right after a full day of local seminar training. I mean, that was a lot of training, but the cool part, and this is what I shared with the corporate team here with JR and with Jeremy and Lauren and everybody, I said, the most amazing part was even after two very long days of training, everybody was completely engaged and energized, and there was just a really, really nice vibe going on in the room. And so, because of that, I am very excited and inspired to work with you guys over the next couple of weeks as we form the UK Web Center's very first Web Centers Accountability Group. So we are launching today, April 27th, and we are going to do this on a weekly basis on Monday evenings. We're actually going to get together and just talk about one very simple training topic and get to work. And the idea is that we want you to grow your entire on franchise as well as growing your web center business. So I just want to be very clear about that is yes, we're going to be training on web centers, but overall, the big picture is the big picture. The main thing is the main thing. And so we want to help you sell websites, but we also want to help you build for the future as well. So with that being said, these sessions are going to be very quick. They're going to be limited to 30 minutes. And that is because, again, we want to keep it simple. We want to focus on just one or two things at a time. And that's it. You know, if it's any longer than that, then I think we run into the issue where people now, you don't even know where to start. And so that's not the point of this. The point of this is to pick one thing a week to focus on and do it. And then, talk about our results and help each other overcome challenges and celebrate each other's success, and then reconvene every Monday and do the same thing. So, with that being said, tonight's session is going to be all about, our launch, right? So, we're going to talk about, the details around how this will work. How will you stay organized? How will you submit your results? And what should you be doing? What assets or resources should you have on hand? As well as do some strategic planning together and some very basic sales fundamentals. So tonight's session is definitely more of an overview session with some very basic challenges or um, uh, challenges at the end that we're going to give to you. But with that being said, we need to have this foundation set before we can do anything else. And so it's really, really important that even though it's the basics tonight, that we are all paying attention, that we're ready to go because most of us are brand new web center owners on the call, and everything starts here. So make sure that you are asking your questions at the end if you have them. What I'm asking you guys to do is actually post in the Market UK Facebook group. There's an official Market United Kingdom group. It's a closed group and it's not dedicated for web centers, but what I want you guys to do is actually post your questions there. I will be monitoring that as well and looking for your questions and helping to respond. But I'd really like it if you have your questions posted there in that forum so that other Market UK unfranchised owners can actually see those questions and the conversations that we're having. I think it's just going to benefit a lot more people that way. And I like when people have questions, if you ask it in that public place, like a group like that, again, it benefits more people than just the one person that asked the question. A lot of times, many people have those questions or concerns, and so it really helps if they can see it. Now, if you've got more of a personal question or you need my support with a situation, all you have to do is send me an email. It's sarah.rose at marketamerica.com. You can see it right there on the screen, and I will always respond to you. So, before we get started, just want to remind everybody of a few requirements. These requirements are essential. We don't ask for a lot, but firstly, we ask that you own a web center. In order to process website sales or sell the new MA Web Center's products, you need a web center. So while I was there in the UK, I actually ran a free web center special where we waived the setup fee, and you were to get your forms back to us. If you haven't gotten yours processed yet, please send me an email right away so I can look into that for you or have our team. 9 times out of 10, it's actually sitting in a spam box, but regardless, I want to make sure that we can help you with that. And if you didn't take advantage of the special, but you'd still like to, again, send me an email and I'd be happy to look into that for you. The second requirement is that you attend the Monday webinars. At the end of the day, if you want us to be able to support you, then we need to be able to connect. And, if it was as simple as all you have to do is read and you can go figure it out on your own, then you guys would be selling, thousands of websites already. The accountability, the weekly time to get together, it makes a major difference. So we definitely want to make sure that you are actually finding the time to do that. Third, you need to submit your results every Friday night by UK midnight time. And so what's going to happen is every Friday night, or every Friday morning, excuse me, I'm going to send you guys a link. And you're going to click on the link and answer a couple of questions, based on how your week went. And those results will get submitted to us only, the Internet Services or MA Web Centers team. And we will use that information to just track our progress and help kind of shape whether or not we need to adjust some of our training topics or not. It's confidential, so other people won't see it. It won't be published anywhere, but you need to submit your results to stay in the group. So even if your results are terrible, it doesn't matter. Even if you forgot to make a single contact, it doesn't matter. Make sure you submit your results, because statistics show that if you don't submit your results, then you're more likely to quit and forget to submit them the next week, and you just fall off track. So always submit your results. So those are the requirements. Tonight's session might be 5 or 10 minutes longer than future sessions, just to make sure we're all clear. But I'm excited to get started. And again, if you have any questions, please post them in the UK Facebook group, or please email me so that everybody will have the benefit of hearing your questions and hearing the response. So the first thing to keep in mind is we are going to be using a number of strategies or media to support you and help you. We're going to be doing the weekly webinars, and the webinars are actually going to coincide with the Web Volume Contest workbook. So the Web Volume Contest is actually in session right now. In fact, we are in the 9th week of that session, and we have a corresponding workbook where at the very top you can see what the session is going to be all about. We talk about daily goals, what the challenge of the week is, and then there's also some really cool exercises that coincide with the topic of the week. So the idea is that every single week has 2 pages associated with it. A first page that talks about, or that gives you a tracking device to track your weekly momentum, and a second page that has exercises and follow-up that have to do with your weekly session. So again, this is actually the actual workbook that everybody else had to pay for, and to participate with. But we're going to use this as our educational guidance for our UK accountability group, because it's a logical progression of starting your web center business. There's a lot of exercises in here to help you expand your leads past your initial warm market. More importantly, there's a lot of strategies in here to help you increase the quality of those leads. And then by printing this out and having a copy, you can easily track your progress and stay organized. So it's basically, again, it's just like a college course style approach where instead of just saying, hey, every day we're going to commit to talking to 3 people and try to set one appointment and add 2 names, we're going to keep that. That's important. Those are your daily operating procedures. But in addition to that, we're going to expand our minds a little bit. We're going to expand our approaches, and then this way we can actually keep growing instead of falling off the wagon. So this is actually a little bit more zoomed in. This is why I wanted to do this, is because I wanted you to see how it will help you to stay organized. So this is the first page, and on the left-hand side, you can see what the daily goals are. On the right-hand side, you could see what the challenge or the flavor of the week is. So in this scenario, obviously the dates for the webinar are adjusted because these are from the contest, and we're using this as our guidance here. But the topics and the goals and the challenges are all the same. So what's really cool, again, is you've got your daily operating procedures. So when you figure out how many websites you want to sell, how many appointments you need to be shooting for, you can adjust how many people that you think you need to talk to on a daily basis to achieve the amount of appointments you need. But if you're looking to sell anywhere from 2 to 3 websites per month, the magic number statistically is to talk to 1 new website prospect per day, and that's all. If you talk to 1 new website prospect per day, you are on track to sell 2 to 3 websites per month. So what we've done is, and we found that most people, that goal is a really good one, and they're excited about the idea of 2 to 3 websites per month. So we've given you kind of a suggested daily practice. Talk to 1 new website prospect per day. Talk to 1 new unfranchised prospect per day. Talk to 1 prospect a day about maybe a new product, one of the new MA Webcenter's products. Shoot to book at least 1 appointment, whether that's a website appointment or to show the plan. And make sure you're constantly adding to your names list. Now, as you're over here, you can see that this is a diary and it's organized by the day of the week. And on the top, you can see the people that you've talked to. The bottom is below that, you've got appointments booked, and then you have new prospects. So this is very important because if you actually do what we're asking you to do, by the end of 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to find that it's difficult to keep up with all of the leads and all of the prospects that you have. And so it's actually really, really important that you're keeping track of the actual names of people that you're talking to so that you can remember to follow up. If you don't follow up and you're putting all this effort, all this time into starting a relationship with these people or building value and getting them to understand the importance of a good website presence or a digital marketing strategy. You do all this work and you forget to follow up, somebody else will. Somebody else will benefit from all that work that you're doing. And so it may seem silly to print all these pages out and write names, but at the end of the day, it's going to make you a lot more money if you can stay on track and stay organized. So that's why every single week, even though there's a challenge of the week on the right-hand side over here, every single week there's also your daily goals and your tracking system so that you can stay organized and keep up with all the prospects that you have. Now, what we've found in the past is that the formula works. It's a foolproof formula, but people are not. People are the variable here. And after about 3 or 4 weeks, just doing talk to 1 prospect, set 1 appointment, that gets a little monotonous. And more than that, people run into challenges where they run out of prospects or they don't like the quality of the conversations they're having. And that's actually what has inspired this challenge of the week, is to give us more strategies so that we can continue to do the daily operating procedures, the daily goals, right? How can we have more leads or have leads at all? How can we increase those qualities so that we're booking more appointments? The challenge of the week is meant to feed your daily goals. So to get started this week, one of the first things you need to do is you have to start with what and why. What do you want and why are you doing this? So in the contest, we had an income goal for June 19th. with us, we're going to July 13th. So you would want to replace it with that, but you want to be very specific about what you want out of this in terms of short-term goals and long-term goals. And I'm going to talk to you about the exercises of the week to help you identify that. However, please understand that you must be specific. It's incredibly important because in sales, what we normally have as an outside salesperson is a boss that imposes a sales quota on its salespeople. And if they don't hit that boss's quota, then something bad happens, like they don't get a bonus, or their regular pay gets deducted, or gosh, in some car sales industries, it's even more aggressive, where if you don't hit your sales quota at the end of the month, you end up owing the car industry more money because they paid you thinking you would hit a specific quota. Now, with MA Web Centers, we don't have that kind of a thing going on. The only sales quotas that we have are the ones that we impose on ourselves. And and it's important because not only are we giving ourselves a target so that we can be consistent and have something to shoot for, but that target is very meaningful to us. It's going to pay for something specific. And so we'll be more motivated to do the work and be inconvenienced to do what we need to do to sell the websites. More than that, when you sell a website, the average retail profit is 700 pounds. And so human nature, when you get 700 pounds in direct deposit, is to slow down and take a week off, and all that does is completely kill your momentum and make you have to start the entire process over again. It is a process, just like business building. It takes a week or a couple of weeks to build up your warm funnel so that you have a nice synergistic thing going on. We have some prospects that are ready to buy, and some prospects that are evaluating, some prospects that are not ready for an appointment, ones that are. It takes time to build that funnel up. And so when you sell a website and you decide to just stop working for a week or two because you can relax, you've got an extra 700 pounds, you kill that process and you have to kind of start all over again. So what's nice about being very specific is that now you have the big picture, the big quota in mind, the big target in mind. And so it will help you not only when, you're feeling like you need the motivation to do the work, it's also going to help you when you are successful and you need the motivation to stay doing the work. So the first thing that we want you to do, and these exercises are in the handbook. The handbook was emailed to everybody today. I also uploaded it to the Market UK Facebook group. So it is available there. If you didn't get a copy, feel free to email me and I will personally email you again. The first strategic planning we ask you to do is the long term, the income, right? So we ask you to give yourself a goal date. And so I'm going to recommend the end of our accountability group. How many weeks is that? What is your income goal? Do you want to be at 199 pounds a month? How much group business volume do you need on the left and right to do that? And how many franchise owners do you need on your team producing the minimums to create the business volume that you need to earn the money you want to make? So it's really simple, guys. If you want to be at that, 200 pounds a month mark, then you need 5 unfranchised owners on your left doing the average of 250 a month, and 5 on your right doing 1250 a month. And I say that because if you don't shoot for 1250 and you shoot just for 1200, then in the 4th month, because it's a 1400 BB jump to the next pay threshold, then you won't hit a check that month. And so if you just do 1250 instead of 1200, now for 4 months in a row, you can expect a check. So that's a really cool way to look at it. Now, if you've already got a team going on, and let's say you've got 5 people on your left and just 1 person on your right, then your goal during the contest is to find at least 4 more people on your right and to help everybody to be using or selling 250 BV per month, right? That's your goal. Now, if you're brand new and you don't have a team at all, then your goal is going to be to find 5 business partners on your left and right doing the minimums or the average so that you're creating the business volume you need to be at that income level. Now, keep in mind that 1 out of 4 plans that you show will statistically end in a new business partner. So if you want to bring on a new business partner, schedule and conduct 4 Market UK overviews, 4 plans, and that will put you on track statistically to have the right number of business partners that you're looking for. Now, again, some people may be better, or some people may need to show more plans. People are the variable here, but 4 is a very conservative number, so that gives you a nice target. Um, at that point, you would identify how many business partners do you need. Let's say it's 10. Let's say you have nobody yet. You would take 10 and multiply it by the amount of plans you would need to show, which is 4, and you would get 40 plans. Then you would go ahead and divide those 40 plans by the amount of weeks that you have, and that would give you an estimate for how many plans per week you would want to show, both personally and on behalf of your people. So if you've got to show 40 plans in 16 weeks, it works out to about 2 to 3 plans per week. And again, those 2 to 3 plans are plans that you're showing your own prospects and to the prospects of your team. The next part of strategic planning is to figure out what your retail goal is going to be. Now, this is going to be how many websites do you want to sell? How much retail profit do you want to earn during this accountability group period? And you would want to redo this kind of strategic planning once a quarter or once every 6 months. So, a couple of things to keep in mind. The average retail profit is £700. 1 out of 3 qualified appointments will end in a sale. Qualified appointments are appointments where all of the decision makers are present and there's truly a need that we might be able to fill. Also, please keep in mind that the Web Center program, the sales process, is a lot like the business building process, where a second or third or sometimes even fourth or fifth follow-up appointment is needed in order to create that sale. We have to keep in mind that it's not even the money, it's just that we're asking a business owner to trust us with their website, with their online strategy. And so they are going to have questions and they're going to need time to make those decisions. And that's okay. The product specialist will actually conduct those follow-up calls on your behalf, and they will connect with you whenever they need to give you an update on how that follow-up is going. So you're going to do the same kind of thing that you did with income in retail. Write your goal date down. So I would say, again, July 13th. How many weeks is that? What is your retail goal? Meaning, how much money do you want to raise? Let's say it's £2,100. So if you want to raise £2,100 selling websites during the accountability group period, how many website sales would you need to make? Well, you would take that £2,100 and divide it by 700, and then you would get 3. That means you need 3 website sales to create the £2,100 to make the money that you want to make, right? So with that being said, 3 sales is your target. Statistically, how many qualified appointments should you be shooting for? Well, if 1 out of 3 appointments ends in a sale, then you would take the 3 sales that you need and multiply it by the 3 necessary appointments, and you would get 9. So you need 9 appointments to make 3 website sales to earn £2,100 in this many weeks by July 13th. At that point, you would also break it down into weekly goals, because it's important to, understand the steps along the way. So if you need 9 appointments and you've got 14 weeks or 16 weeks, you would take 9 divided by 14, and you would need less than 1 appointment per week to make that happen. The next assignment and thing that you all need to get under control is your initial leads list, right? And so again, we are going to talk about different strategies to expand this list, but it's important that we all start with a very big and solid warm market lead list first. Warm is key. You need to have some sort of connection to the people that you're talking to. It's not enough to just call through a Yellow Pages directory, or go to Google and just call every business that you find, or purchase leads even, because people don't buy stuff the way they used to buy it 10, 20 years ago. And so we can't expect the same sales approaches to work either. Cold calling does not work. And what we believe in is conversational marketing. So the initial leads list is right here. You want to think about, who do you know that owns a business, that is employed at a business, or that you do business with, or that is well connected. And then what you want to do is go industry by industry and column by column. So start with accountants? Do you know any people that own an accounting business? If you do, write them down. If you know anybody that's employed at an accounting firm, write their names down. Do you do business with any accountants? Do you have an accountant? And do you know any accountants or people that might be well connected? By the way, almost all accountants are well connected, right? Most of them work with business owners. Then you do the same thing for restaurants. Do you know any restaurant owners? Do you know any waitresses, bartenders, hostesses, or people that work in the restaurant industry? Do you ever go out to eat? What, if so, what restaurants do you frequent? That kind of a thing. And you're going to do that for all of these industries. Another thing that is really helpful is maybe add an industry that you have work experience in. So it's simple. If you worked in HVAC before, then go ahead and add HVAC and then go column by column. Or if you've worked in catering, great, add catering and go column by column. Either way, you want to take the time. It should take you at least an hour to do this completely and write down every single name that you know. From there, you want to Google your prospects and just write one or two things that stand out. If you found a website for them, does it look up to date? Was it mobile friendly? Did they have any social media links on there? Did it look nice? Just look at it from your own consumer's point of view and write down the things that stand out. You're going to use these things to ask some good questions when you actually pick up the phone or walk into their place of business. And it really is helpful. If you just know one or two things that you might be able to help with, it's really a lot. It really does motivate you to pick up the phone and call. It also, again, if you're nervous, it gives you a couple of good questions to ask them where, again, you might know the answer already because you already figured it out through Googling them. However, getting them to admit that their content is not up to date, or they wish they had social media, or, oh, yeah, their website's not mobile friendly. These are all things that if you can get them to tell you versus you telling them, can be very powerful because now they're selling themselves an appointment and it's not you trying to sell them an appointment. So when you are ready and you've got your leads list ready, we're going to make our first contacts this week. You're going to pick up the phone and contact your prospects and you're going to follow this roadmap. Social, how's work, how's business, how's advertising, and how's your website doing? So it's really simple. If you call up a business owner and you're talking to them, you make a little bit of small talk. How are things going? Great, awesome. How's business been? These are normal questions that people ask each other every day, so it should feel very natural, very organic. When they answer how business has been going, maybe they say, "Oh, it's been pretty good, a little slow at lunch." Okay, great. Well, what are you guys doing about that? Are you doing any advertising? How are you getting your name out there? Let them respond to you. And then when you're done, go ahead and move the conversation along a little further and say, well, how's your website doing? Is it helping you with that? It's a roadmap. And what's really nice about this is instead of just having some stupid script where everybody sounds, you know, like a robot and nobody sounds personable, or it's just not an enjoyable way to communicate. This, on the other hand, is well received by the person you're calling. And the other cool part about this is there's not a lot of rejection involved because you're not just calling people and trying to sell them on something or solicit them, but rather you're just talking to people and finding out if there's a good fit, if there's a potential need that you could help them fill by scheduling an appointment. It's real simple stuff. Remember, at the end of the day, you're not selling technology. You have to remember what the actual benefits of our products are. The benefits of our products are to help a small business or a medium-sized business to increase their revenues, decrease their expenses by consolidating a lot of their marketing strategies with ours, and increase customer satisfaction by having a better website that is a better resource for their customers, or maybe they are using our marketing tools or our CRM or some of our other tools to help streamline some of their own business practices. But at the end of the day, we're talking about marketing their business online. That's what we do. We don't just sell a website. We don't sell features. We sell benefits. And so, when they start asking questions, you can always fall back on the actual benefit of the product itself. Now, when you finally do ask them how the website is doing, you're going to find that their response falls into a couple of categories here. They're either going to say it's doing great, or they're going to say it's terrible, that they don't have one, or they're working on it. That's like the most common responses. The important thing to remember is it doesn't matter what they say. The next move is for you to ask a follow-up question. So, if you schedule an appointment right away after hearing one of these responses without asking any follow-up questions, those are not very qualified appointments because they're vague, right? They're not based on any very specific needs that you've identified, but rather they're based off of, hey, someone said they don't like their website, so I just scheduled an appointment. Cool, just ask one more question. Well, what about it don't you like? Or what's it not doing that you wish that it was doing? Or if they say they're working on it, ask them what that means. Is it on their to-do list, or is it just, that they're contracted with somebody right now and they're actually physically working on it? You don't know unless you ask. So it's really important to remember to ask these questions. At this point, once you've identified a couple of needs that you might be able to fit, you want to sell the appointment. So most people are not industry professionals when they get started with web centers, and so it's important to not pretend to be something you're not. Don't try to be an expert when you're not an expert. Just use this referral approach where you're basically just saying, like, look, it sounds like you've got some problems going on. I know a great company or a great person that might be able to help you out with that. It's natural, it's simple, and then if they have technical questions, there's no pressure on you to answer them. And that will relieve you of a lot of stress. It will also make this process a lot easier, more natural, and more enjoyable for you. So this is like a sample script, but again, we don't really do scripts, so you want to make sure you're speaking with your own words in your own way, and you're feeling pretty organic about it. So you would say something like, hey, well, look, it's not an area I specialize in, but the company I work with has an entire division of people, and they actually help businesses like yours to, XYZ, depending on what you found out. Let me do you a favor. I can get you an appointment with one of the product specialists. It'll take about 30 to 45 minutes. They can show you the technology and answer your questions and see if this might be a solution to your problem. What typically works best for you, mornings or afternoons? So it's real simple. It just rolls off your tongue. You're making a referral. We make referrals every single day. It's just part of like what people do. So you're edifying our team. You're edifying the product specialist. You're putting weight in that recommendation because you say you work with a great company and you're offering a solution to a problem. And that's the easiest way to sell anything, is to offer a solution to a problem. Don't forget, we also have brand new internet marketing and design products. So sometimes in that conversation, you might find that, hey, well, they're not really in the market for a new website, but they would love some social media support, or they would just love some help with their Google campaign. So when that kind of stuff happens, you're going to go ahead and just, shift the conversation. Again, solve their problem, not your agenda. Just so you know, there are some sales resources that I wanted to make you aware of. In addition to our teams of professionals, there's a new sales e-binder that you can order on flash drive. Also, all of those videos are available on our YouTube channel. So if you go to mawc411.com and you click on the webinars page, you're going to see all of our pre-recorded webinars. You're also going to see a link to our YouTube channel. Go ahead and click on that, and we've got different chapters and a cool little 4-minute teaser video all about our solution that you can share with your prospects. We also have a number of infographic, beautiful flyers about the new products, about our Web Center product as a whole, that both describe what the category of product is, why somebody would need it, and the different MA Web Center solutions that we have. So here's your homework. I told you it was going to be a lot of basics today, but your homework is to complete your why. Why are you doing this? Your goal statement, your strategic planning. Then you're going to complete your initial leads list, that warm market leads list. And make sure you take the time to actually go industry by industry, column by column, and also to Google those prospects. Go ahead and start contacting your very first prospects right away, and make sure that you're commenting in the Facebook group. So at the end of every session, I'm going to go ahead and put a copy of the presentation up into the Market UK Facebook group, and you can just comment. If you've done the challenge of the week, comment there. If you have any questions on the challenge of the week, comment there. The more that we move the conversation into that Facebook group, the better, because more of us can benefit. On Friday, you will get an email with a link to submit your results. Again, it's just going to be a form that you fill out, so nothing complicated, real simple. Just going to ask you, how many people did you contact, how many appointments did you set, did you make any sales, that kind of a thing. Please don't forget to fill it out, because it's really helpful information for us to know if we're needing to make any adjustments anywhere. Just stay engaged. If you have any questions, interact with me, with each other, and I'm really looking forward to this. So thank you guys so much for actually participating in the first group. You guys are going to do awesome, but more than that, you're going to inspire an entire generation of UK web center owners. So I appreciate you more than you know. I am completely available if you have any questions or comments or concerns or anything that you need. Just ask me, and my ears are wide open, because I am committed to making this work in the UK with you guys. All right, have a great week.